Welcome to TimeControl Mobile. Over the next few minutes, we're going to show you the latest in our TimeControl Mobile app, available for both the Apple App Store for iOS devices and from Google Play for Android devices. When we start Time Control, we can log in directly to our Time Control account, as I've done here with Gail Robinson. And we see immediately on the screen we're shown to the Time Control timesheet list. This looks just like the list on your regular time control, except of course it's been organized to work right on your mobile device. We can filter the list as we would do in our regular time control on a full-size browser, and the display here will change based on whether you're using a tablet or a phone and how much resolution is available to the Time Control mobile app for use. So in a tablet, for example, the filter and the commands for the filter would appear on the right beside the list. When we go to create a timesheet, we are given access to the same kinds of things that we would in the regular time control system. We can choose the period of that timesheet. If we're allowed to do timesheets for multiple people, then we'll see a list of who we might be able to do that for. I can copy from a previous list. I can preload the timesheet as we would do normally by default, or I can make a blank timesheet just by having the preload be blank. And what we see on the screen is we see a range of dates at the top, which scrolls for however many days have been defined in your timesheet periods. In my case, I'm looking at 1 week. And we see a list of possible charges down below. If I shift to Monday, either by just swiping left to right or by clicking on the day, I can then tap on the hour beside Boat Show, and I can say, well, we spent 3.5 hours on that. And that immediately pops up as something that is complete. At the top of the screen, you can see we have 3.5 hours showing today out of a total of 3.5 hours for the timesheet. Let's add some more information to that to say, well, we did meetings also for 4.5 hours. And now we see we have an 8-hour timesheet. We go to Tuesday, we can add some more information. Let's put in a couple of more here. We'll say 4 hours for one thing. And we'll say we did some work on the Polar project for 4 hours. On Wednesday, we can say we did meetings for the whole day. On Thursday, let's put our time on the boat show, 4 hours for one thing. And, whoops, let's say 5 and 3 hours for the next. And finally, on Friday, let's say that we worked on the first boat show work for 8 hours, but we did a couple of hours of overtime because we worked also on this additional task. And I'm going to say, well, that's 2 hours, but I'm going to edit that line by clicking on the ellipsis on the right and say, let me edit the line. And you see I have now a whole range of additional fields. These are called the secondary fields. And I can go and click on the rate, choose from available rates, such as, say, banked overtime, and save that. And so now I have 42 hours showing. And so very simple to add the timesheet. It's very, very fast. Swipe, tap, enter the hours, and you're looking at the same kind of functionality we have in our regular time control. We can add additional lines if not all of your lines have been loaded that you need. And from this screen, we can also go to something we're very excited about, and that's the timesheet summary. If I click on the summary, I can see the information by rate description. I can look at the information by date. And so I'm now looking at the hours that were put in each day. If I say, let me just divide things up by the rate code, I can see we had a little bit of time in banked overtime, a little bit of time on regular charges. I can divide things up by the charge code or by what projects I spent time on, and you can see immediately where your time was in the day. Going into a couple of other options, right from the timesheet, I can now release the timesheet. And if I want to send an email, I could do that at the same time. I'm going to say no, just release this timesheet. And when we look at the definition of it, we will see that on the timesheet list, that timesheet is currently owned very, very bottom there by Tom Logan. That's Gail's supervisor. Tom would be able to accept and approve this timesheet or reject it, just as we would in our regular time control. If you lose your internet connection for a moment, well, that's fine because offline work allows us to continue to do the work we were in the middle of, and as soon as your internet connection is reestablished, you will be able to immediately go back and update that record, and it will synchronize automatically. There's help available. You have in your account, you can log out. You can see in the timesheet list numerous kinds of timesheets. If you're a supervisor, you might be looking at timesheets that were in the past, or looking at your current timesheets. All of that because the mobile app is directly connected to your time control system. All of the things that would normally work in your timesheet are already built in. Things like control of the automated validation rules, or what happens with workflow when you release your timesheet or accruals. All of that is happening on the server as it always has. So that's a quick look at Time Control Mobile. And at the mobile app, it's available now on the Apple App Store and Google Play. Just search for Time Control Mobile.